Nintendo has now officially confirmed that the Switch has entered the final stage of its life, with the Switch successor set to be unveiled and released in the relatively near future. And though Nintendo will be unveiling the final batch of major titles that are set to release for the Switch in the final leg of its active life cycle, it's safe to say that Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, which is due out in June, is going to be among the system's final notable releases one way or another. The acclaimed action-adventure title originally launched for the Nintendo 3DS in 2013, and though it wasn't quite as well received or as much of a whopping commercial success as Luigi's Mansion 3 turned out to be, it was still an impressive critical and commercial success in its own right. How long it'll be before we get to see the next mainline Luigi's Mansion game remains to be seen, but just as Nintendo remade the first game for the 3DS in its final stages before Luigi's Mansion 3 came out, the company is preparing to remaster and re-release Luigi's Mansion 2 for the Switch in its final leg before the series' next mainline installment launches, whenever that is. Here then, we're going to take a look at a few key details you should know about the looming launch of Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Story details. Unsurprisingly, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD doesn't put an awful amount of emphasis on storytelling, though it does have plenty of narrative elements in place that fans of the series will find familiar. The game's story kicks off with the arrival of the notorious King Boo in the Evershade Valley, which causes the Dark Moon to shatter, which in turn causes all of the ghosts that reside within the valley to go berserk and lose control of themselves. Amidst the crisis, good old Professor Egad summons everyone's favorite ghost hunter Luigi to the valley, where it once again falls to him to deal with all the ghosts and put things right. Evershade Valley's Mansions. Back when it came out, the core hook for Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon was that it allowed players to traverse not one, not two, but 5 whole haunted mansions, each bringing their own unique themes, challenges, enemies, and more. In the upcoming remaster, all 5 mansions will obviously be returning. There's Gloomy Manor, your regular standard haunted mansion, Haunted Towers, towering structures built around a massive tree with out-of-control plant life wreaking havoc everywhere, Old Clockworks, a factory that once used to produce clocks, of course, Secret Mines, which are mines built inside of snow-capped mountains, and Treacherous Mansion, a huge and exotic mansion teeming with wondrous exhibits, terrifying ghosts, and more. Missions and bosses. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD adopts a mission-based structure, tasking you with completing a series of missions as you make your way deeper and deeper into each mansion. Of the 5 mansions in the game, 4 of them have 5 missions on offer each, with the remaining mansions coming with 3 missions. On top of that, each mansion also comes with its own optional bonus mission, while the main missions of each mansion also culminate in a boss fight, from a terrifying large spider in Gloomy Manor to a possessed staircase in the Haunted Towers. Poltergust and Strobulb. If you've played a Luigi's Mansion game in the past, you're going to be very familiar with its core moment-to-moment gameplay loop, but for all the uninitiated out there, here's a brief primer. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD will see Luigi dealing with ghosts primarily with his trusty weapon, the Poltergust 5000, which is a vacuum cleaner that sucks up ghosts. No, really, that's literally what it is, a vacuum cleaner. Also returning is the Strobulb, which is a flashlight-esque device that you first need to use to stun ghosts with, after which they become vulnerable enough to be sucked up using the Poltergust. Puzzles and environments. Sucking up ghosts is a huge part of the Luigi's Mansion core gameplay loop, but just as crucial is exploring environments and solving puzzles. Hidden everywhere in Luigi's Mansion 2 HD's mansions, you'll find environmental puzzles that will task you with using your toolset of items, from using the Poltergust functions to manipulate and carry objects, to using the Strobulb to interact with things such as lights and switches, to even using the Dark Light device, which you can use to find objects otherwise hidden in environments, such as secret doors leading to hidden rooms. Scarescraper. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD's 15 to 20 hour single player campaign is obviously going to be its primary attraction, but the game will also be bringing back the 3DS original's fan favorite multiplayer mode Scarescraper. For those not aware, Scarescraper is a co-op mode where 4 players play as different colored Luigis and team up to progress through randomly generated floors of a haunted tower, finding different items, layouts, ghosts, and challenges on each floor. Whether the tower has a limited number of floors or designed as an endless gauntlet where you go as far as your skill will take you is something the game lets you decide as well. Scarescraper objectives. When you play Scarescraper, you and your squad will find one of 4 different kinds of challenges on each randomly generated floor, each throwing different hurdles your way. Hunter will task players with defeating all ghosts on the current floor of the tower, while Polterpup will have you chasing around and dealing with a very specific enemy type in Ghost Dogs, as its name suggests. There's also Rush, in which players race each other to be the first to find the floor's exit. Finally, Surprise randomly selects one of the other 3 objective types. Co-op. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD's Scarescraper is of course all about capturing the quintessential co-op experience. As you'd expect, it's also going to let you decide how you want to play too. Local co-op and online co-op will both be supported, so you can pair up with a player over the internet using Nintendo Switch Online as well. Visual enhancements. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD isn't a full-fledged remake like the first installment received on the 3DS, but in making the transition from the 3DS to the Nintendo Switch, the game's remaster is still making some noticeable technical upgrades. Based on what Nintendo has shown of the remaster so far, we can clearly expect a significant jump in visual quality on the Nintendo Switch, entailing everything from improved character models and animations to more detailed environments, sharper lighting and shadows, and more. File size. Games on the Nintendo Switch tend to be pretty small in size, especially compared to the overwhelming majority of most AAA and even AA console and PC releases. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, as a remaster of a decade-old 3DS game, is going to be even smaller. As per the game's eShop listing, it will have a file size of just 3 GB. In comparison, 2019's Luigi's Mansion 3 has a file size of 7.4 GB. Then again, Luigi's Mansion 3 is a significantly better looking game than the upcoming remaster of its predecessor, so that gap doesn't necessarily come as a huge surprise. And that brings us to the end of this video. A quick request before we conclude. We upload new videos every single day, and if you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing. It really helps us out. Also, don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon so that you can receive daily video updates. Thanks for watching.